Today we're going to be talking with Malikia Robertson. She's the founder of Malikia Yoga, Yoga for Us. And she's heavy in the triangle trying to turn people on to the aspects of yoga they may not yet know. Let's see if we can get her on the phone.
Hello?
Hey Malikia, this is Kelvin Gervais.
How you doing?
I'm magnificent. How are you this morning?
Can't complain. It wouldn't help if I did anyway.
I know that's right. Listen, I'm actually close by you and would like to see if you want to come driving while black with me.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let me grab my coffee and my scents and I'll be right on out.
Yes, ma'am. I'll see you shortly.
Okay.
Bye. Good morning, sister.
Good morning, good morning.
How are you?
Good, good to see you.
It's always good to see you. I remember the first time I saw you, it was last year or the year before, whenever, it was something that, it was an event and you were making a proposal for a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably the Southeast Raleigh.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Well, first I said who you were, but please introduce yourself and say hello to everybody.
Hey everybody, it's me, Malikia Robertson of Malikia Yoga with Yoga for Us. And I'm glad to be here with Kelvin, man. You know, we've been trying to get together for a minute now.
Yeah, we have. We bump into each other. We bumped into each other at the Violin Ring.
Right.
But and you always stood out in my mind because you see a lot of, it's not knocking anybody else or anything, but you see a lot of people doing yoga or type of stretches or things like that. But I constantly see you having events or at events.
Yeah.
And you seem to be highly requested.
Well, I think it's just that my mission is so targeted. Like my goal is very specific.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you do yoga for, just like to have people get out the house or, it's like a deeper meaning. Could you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, so, everybody focuses on yoga in terms of it being like an exercise, the physical side, which is very important. Like we need to move, we need to get stress out of our body, you know what I'm saying? All of that good stuff. But I just want to sneak in the other sides of yoga. I like to make it fun. I like it to make sure it speaks to my target audience, and let's be clear, my target audience are Black men, women, and children. I need for us to engage more consistently to better our well-being, physically, mentally, emotionally, all of that good stuff, right? And so I really want to sneak in that emotional, mental, mindfulness piece of yoga.
See, that's what I meant. Yeah,
because that's what gets you, that's what keeps you coming back, because you can go ride a bike, you can go get in the pool and swim, you can go run on the sidewalk, you can go to the gym. There's so many things you can do for a fun, lively, physical experience. But this practice is so much more than that. It's a tool that really helps you tap into your power. But right before you picked me up, I was about to post on Instagram this meme that I made that says prayer and meditation are full conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because we pray like, yeah, girl, go get in your prayer closet, whoever it is you praying to, like you are diligent in making sure that you're praying for yourself, your family, your friends, the world. But that's a one-sided conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's powerful.
You ever talk to somebody and you talking and you at the end of the conversation you realize you only said like 2 words?
Yeah, that's powerful.
So you're constantly asking or thanking and giving gratitude, but when are you listening?
Right.
And that's what you have to hone, and that's what yoga has done for me.
Because we are sometimes, apologize for cutting you, but we do sometimes automatically think prayer talk.
Yeah.
You know, that's sort of embedded, and we've been conditioned to do that. Is that, you know, when we're praying we talk, you know, but prayer also majorly, I would say, even more does involve listening. I'm all for giving praise. My form of praise, because I can't sing. Right. I heard that. I don't think I can either.
It doesn't stop me from doing it.
Right.
I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I don't sing.
You go on a road trip with me, man. It's a 4-hour concert. I'm doing backup. I'm dancing. Oh man.
Loud and wrong.
Right.
But my praise comes in a form of movement.
Okay.
And so for me, it's hard to just sit down and be still and listen, you know, because I know my spirit is speaking to me heavily. It's always trying to grab my attention. It's always trying to guide me. And I know that, you know, when you do something, you recognize it when you mess it up. When you're not listening, you always feel it like, damn, I knew I should have did such and such.
That's right.
Why didn't I do it?
Yeah, right.
Because you weren't listening.
So are these all the components and aspects you spread to people through your yoga classes? Yes.
So you bring them in through the door with the yoga, you know, with the asana, the movement. And, you know, you do it by hook and crook, you know, trap yoga, hip hop, you know, fun things that
the medicine and the candy.
Yeah. You know, you gotta have the sugar. We need the sugar inside the medicine dropper. Otherwise, we won't take it. It plays its part.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, it has to be appealing.
And then you bring in that other aspect, and that's where people get that snippet. And so yoga for us, my goal is to make that a consistent practice, because everybody can't afford $15 a class.
Indeed.
And everybody doesn't want to go out every 3 days to this studio or that studio or this event, you know. So you have to devise ways to make it accessible and to make it consistent. Online classes, things like that, free classes every now and again. And the way you do that is you have to connect with other people.
Indeed.
You know, you have to work and network and collaborate and pool resources. And so that's why you see me out here in these streets. I'm like, man,
that's right.
It's not, because it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's not about me.
That's
you know,
right.
My husband and I are fixing our faces to bring in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th streams of income.
Right. I understand that.
So this right here is my passion. It's my mission. It's not like my get rich.
Right.
You know, it's not my retirement plan.
Right,
you know what I mean? But this is what fills me up.
So what do you want to bring to the world of yoga as far as the world of Raleigh or the Triangle? I know you travel, so
the Triangle. I want to dismantle the misperceptions that we tend to have as Black people in doing yoga. The religious barriers, the physical barriers, and those barriers that make us say that it's something that we don't do, it's something that we can't do, something that is not right for us to do, that is not for us, which is what brought me to yoga for
Somebody
us.
says that? People say
that? All the time. I had somebody tell me that their church, their pastor, instructed the congregation not to do yoga. I've also heard, I'm not flexible enough.
Yeah.
Or I need to lose like 10 to 30 pounds before I can start doing yoga.
Yeah.
Why, sis? oh, I like to work out. I can't do yoga. I mean, it's just, you hear all those things, and I mean, I get where they're coming from.
Do you think it's just from their, in your professional opinion, would you say that it's from their lack of knowledge in what yoga actually is?
Yes.
And that's probably makes you more understanding to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the lack of knowledge, it's the lack of personal experience, and it's a lack of representation. You don't see yourself doing something, the likelihood of you doing it lessens, and it takes a person that has a certain type of mental fortitude to just be like, I've never seen anybody do this that looks like me. I have no previous type of example, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right.
It takes a certain amount of fortitude to just go out there and do that.
You're right.
Which is why so many of our children want to be in sports or in entertainment or things like that, because they're just now starting to see more of that representation in other fields. It's not that it hasn't been out there. They just haven't seen it.
They haven't seen it.
Because it hasn't been mainstream.
Right.
Which is why social media is like a great equalizer, It's one of the best things that happen for Black people. Because you can fill your head and your eyes and your spirit with positive melanated images all day if you want to.
Yeah, right. If you're not just socializing about the mess.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this. What does a class look like? What is one of your classes? I'm walking into one of your classes right now.
Yep.
All right. I need to get myself together. My mental, my joints are aching.
Okay.
My spiritual, and I need to get it together, and I walk into your class. What does it look like?
Okay, first of all, when you come into my classroom, you just need to throw away all your expectations.
Right.
Because I'm a little what's the word? I am a true dichotomy. You know what I'm saying? I am multifaceted. I'm not one way. You catch me on Monday, I might be upbeat and ready to rah, rah, rah. You catch me on Tuesday, I might be mellow.
Okay.
I got my chill time. I got my, I'm like introverted, extrovert.
Okay. Go ahead.
So,
continue.
If it's a class, and I'm very descriptive, if it's going to be a high energy class, it's going to be high energy. That's it. You're going to move, you're going to sweat, I'm going to push you through it. And it just is what it is. If you need a break, take a break. I always tell you, I want you to hear my voice, but I want you to listen to your body. You're not here to look like me. If I can hold my plank for 120 seconds and you only got 10 on it, get your 10 in. And
that's actually a good thing. So that eliminates shaming or things of that nature, or feeling like you're good enough. I like that.
Yes.
I'm sorry for cutting you off. Continue.
No, that's important.
That is important, though.
And we always end with, we cool, we stretch, we always gonna get a good, I don't care if we work out for, 50 whole minutes, you're gonna get 10 to 15 minutes of a good stretch. Because that's really important for your muscles and your ligaments and all that good stuff.
Okay.
And then you're not gonna walk out without some sort of mental release, whether it's breath work or moments of meditation or affirmations. You need to learn how to be aware of your self-talk, of the thoughts running through your head. I'm not saying you got to change them in that 60-minute class, because that's a lot of inner work.
Okay.
But just be aware of it.
Right.
Breathe through it.
Okay.
No judgment. And you walk out feeling good. Sometimes my classes are much more low-key. A lot more stretching, movement. Sometimes we spend 40% of the class dancing rather than doing what people feel is yoga. Because you're there to move your body. And moving your body today might be fluid instead of static.
Right.
But all throughout my classes, I put my emphasis on breathing, on being aware of your thoughts, having a good time, and just letting shit go. Even if it's only for an hour, hour and a half. Just, you came here to not be focused on the garbage that the world dumps on you throughout the day. So take the opportunity to let it go right here, right now, before you go back out there, so you're a little bit lighter when you go out.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yes. Yes, it did. Now, also, I saw recently you had an event with children. Somewhere you had an event with, I can't remember where, but I remember I saw that you had an event with children. How was that? Because, you know, you never really think about children as it pertains to yoga. You know, well, I know I don't. I'm not going to say what anybody else does, but it's not, you know, it doesn't seem, you know, commonly
plausible,
right? Well, just commonly known, you know, everything nowadays with children, they do everything. You know? But I mean, just you don't hear a lot of it. You know, so tell me what that looks like.
And I was introduced to a young lady that runs Little Makers Academy, and you know, she's trying to get STEM.
I know that sister you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, she's trying to reinforce STEM learning with the babies, you know, the before they go into the public school system. Right. Which is so important, because that's, you know, that's where it's going. That's where it's headed, right?
That's right.
And so I barter with her. I bring my daughter there sometimes, and I go in there each week. I'm teaching today. I go in there and teach the younger classroom. They're about 2 to 3, and then the older room, they're about 3 to 4. Some of them are 5. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
You will not believe how receptive children are to yoga. More so than adults, because they don't have those
conditioning.
Yes.
They don't have that conditioning.
They don't. They just do it. And they really have a stronger sense of what's important. And so I try to instill in them a younger version of yoga principles, of what we call our yamas and niyamas. And it's just simple stuff like peace and honesty and cleanliness and kindness, you know, gratitude and generosity and stuff like that. You know, quiet time, belief in something bigger than themselves, those little things. And they, you know, I've been there for about a month or so now. I go in and they're, we're gonna do our principles, and I can discipline my daughter that way. You know, when she's doing something, I'm like, you know, Solomon, are you being honest? And then she'll be like, no, mommy, I'm not being honest, and you're right, I'm just a little frustrated. I need to have better control of my emotions, and I'm just gonna go get some quiet time. Like, what? What? Like, for her to use that language and to understand it, you know, and that's why I try to pour into the kids, because once they get into the school system, they don't have those tools to self-regulate themselves. Then they get labeled, then they get tracked, you know, and it's ridiculous. I have seen a wave where some schools are implementing yoga and meditation and mindfulness as disciplinary tools for the kids. And I would love to see that grow.
So, would you participate in that?
Absolutely.
You would participate in that in the schools and get into it?
Yeah, I did that all last year. I taught once a week at a element with Wake County Public School System. I taught once a week at one of the magnet schools. Really? Down there, Hunter at
Hunter Elementary.
Yeah. And so,
that's
but I'm gonna be real honest with you. Okay, I want to bring it to the children who are not going to be exposed to it otherwise. If that makes sense.
I understand.
You know,
I understand.
The magnet schools are magnificent. They're a great resource. But having just gone through the process of, my daughter, she's 5. She's starting kindergarten next year. And having going through that magnet process, I realized that a lot of the kids, a good percentage of the kids that will make it into those magnet programs are going to be the kids that have the parents and the uncles and the grandparents and the
sort of a more advantage,
the PTA that is going to give them those experiences.
Better support system than other children, which is factual. There are some children that have better advantages, that provide more options than her. And that doesn't mean that they're better than the child, although sometimes it's portrayed that way. It does not mean that at all.
Doesn't. Like, I don't have to go to my daughter's school to teach yoga.
Right, I understand.
Those kids are going to get those tools. I want to go to the schools in the area that aren't magnet schools, that aren't heavily poured into, that don't have a lot of resources, that necessarily can't afford to hire they're working on getting necessities, and yoga is not necessarily at the highest priority of necessity.
I understand.
It is so very important for those kids' development, but when you're trying to choose between self-regulation and books, you're gonna have to get the books. You're gonna have to get the paper. You have to get the pencils. You know, you have to make sure the alarms are working and things like that, rather than the well-being of the child. And that's just such a sad state for our education system right now.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you train other yoga trainers?
Not yet.
Is that even a market? Is that a field?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Say more to that.
It's a lot of money in being able to train other yoga professionals.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Really?
And that's why, people are like, oh,
is there a certification process and all of okay, so you just can't order a video or DVD.
You can.
And do it for 6 months and then say, hey, I'm teaching yoga. I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's not as respected.
Right.
So
there is,
because I wouldn't want a doctor like that.
Right.
He's like, I've been watching ER for 17 years straight. I believe I can perform this tracheotomy.
Yeah. I took like 10 psychology classes and now I'm gonna be your therapist.
Right. It's not good.
No. It's like a personal trainer. You want them to have actually taken some courses on anatomy and things like that, or a nutritionist.
I understand that.
So it's not regulated right now. I feel that it's definitely moving towards that. There are a couple of highly publicized associations that are pushing for regulation.
Okay.
So I think that's coming very soon. And so now, anyone that really wants to teach it, in my opinion, unless you've been doing yoga for over 10 years and you are highly experienced, that would be the only way where I would say you probably don't need it. You don't need the training because you have it's like experience versus formal education. If you've been doing it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you don't have the experience, in my opinion, to just go out there and start guiding people. You need that formal education. And I've been doing yoga off and on since 2001. That
was my next question. How long have you been doing it?
Yeah, off and on.
So that's 17 years?
God. Yeah. Wow.
That's
when you
decent.
say that, I mean, yeah.
That's a decent amount of time.
It is a decent amount of time, but I will say this: I was not I didn't consider myself a yoga practitioner until about 2014, 2015.
Okay.
That's when I took the practice serious. Before then, I was
I understand.
going in, coming out, going in, coming out. It was like a crutch.
Right. Okay.
It's just been a horrible few months. I just need to go do some yoga.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you when your life is going crazy, you say, I'm gonna go to church on Sunday.
Right. Or let me go work out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go work out. Yeah.
Advice.
Right. And so finally I just realized this is something I need to really be consistent with, to devote some time to. And I started practicing outside of the house, in studios, and developed my own home practice. And I was like, wow. And once my daughter was born and she started doing it with me, she started practicing with me. And when I say practice, I mean like climbing all over me, rolling around on the mat, breathing with me when she was about 8 to 9 months. And now she loves it. So I couldn't stop now if I wanted to.
I know that's right. So let me ask you this, at the end of the day, what does success look like for you as it pertains to, you know, your mission and your dream, as well as your goal for Malikia Ian Yoga? What does success look like to you?
Success, what does it look like to me? That's a good question. In this nation, it looks like seeing brown and black faces become normalized in the wellness industry. And when you go to any yoga studio, whether it's a black-owned yoga studio or a male-owned yoga studio or a Latino-run yoga studio, I want to see true diversity. I want us to be filling up spaces in the wellness industry. I want us to be actively and consistently participating in the conversation, in the action, in the formulating of mental, emotional, and physical well-being. I want, and it doesn't have to be from Malikia Ian Yoga. I would like to take a part of that. I would like to help shape that. I would like to create spaces for that. But right now, I'm focused on bringing the women in hopes that they'll bring their babies in and then bring y'all in.
Okay.
Because y'all follow us.
I know. Say that. Hold
y'all
on.
will
Look directly in the camera and say that again.
Y'all will follow us.
Now, will we just follow y'all in yoga, or will we follow y'all in pretty much everything?
In life, honey. To the moon and back.
See, 'cause I can't say that, you know. That's gonna be perceived the wrong way coming from me. But when we have another sister that says it, you know, it hits a little bit more powerful. It packs a little bit more punch.
That's right. Now, you know, because here's the thing. We know that we've been taught that the man is the head, right, of the house, right?
Yes, that patriarchy mess.
Yes. But I'm going to tell you right now, you go into any household, specifically a household that is descended from the African diaspora.
Come on now. Speak
and
on
you
it.
got that woman, she controls the dietary
Come on now.
map of that house. She controls the spending of that house. Now he might bring in most of the money, but she's buying the groceries, she's buying the food, she's buying the clothes, you know.
That's right.
When's the last time men actually thought about the underwear that the kids are wearing? You know?
Speak.
So if she's going to be a vegetarian, guess who else going to be a vegetarian?
Thank you.
He is. For me, yoga is about tapping into your power. It's about realizing that your power is not way up in the sky. You know, that it's not long, you know, untouchable, you know, that the ancestors only hold it. That it's within you, and you have to tap into it. You have to listen to it. You have to allow yourself to be guided by it, so that you can really live your best life or fulfill the purpose that you're here for. And it doesn't have to be some grandiose thing, you know. I'm not trying to be on the cover of Yoga Journal.
There's a yoga journal?
Yeah, there's a yoga journal.
I tell you, I'm really out of it. I'm so embarrassed.
I'm not trying to be on the cover of Yoga Journal, you know.
Before we close this out, sister, please tell everybody how they can get in contact with you to experience, to live Malikia Ian Yoga.
Hey.
Tell them all of your avenues of contact, including social media, so they can follow you. You know, even if they might not have decided yet, you know, if they want to do yoga. But I'm telling y'all, come through, because this sister's powerful. Come through, but tell them all of you.
I appreciate you. All right, so first thing you want to do is go to my website, www.yogaforus.com. www.yogaforus.com. Join the tribe. That way you will be included on my email list. If you have any questions, you can email info@yogaforus.com. I am on social media, Instagram and Facebook as Malikia Yoga. Don't try to spell my name. You're gonna get it wrong. Am I right? You're gonna get it wrong. So just follow the hashtag Yoga for Us, and you will find me on Instagram and Facebook, so you can keep up with my events I have coming up. I am putting together a stretch and stilettos class with one of my line sisters, one of my sorority line sisters here in Raleigh. We brought it to Durham last month. We're bringing it to Raleigh. Be downtown at HQ.
Now, you know you can't say your sorority line sister without saying your sorority.
Oh, you know I'm a Delta all day. Y'all knew I was a Delta. Come on now. What else would I be?
I heard that. My sister's a Delta.
Is she?
Yeah, she is. Out in Wichita, Kansas.
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah.
She made
Wichita,
some good choices.
Kansas.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a Delta. Heavily involved.
Yeah. It's one of the best decisions I made.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah,
I love my sorors, man. So we're not even gonna go down that road.
Go ahead.
You know, I could go all day on that. And so we're doing a yoga class and a dance class. She dances. They're choreographing something sensual, something energetic for the women to kind of tap into their womanness.
Well, I most definitely thank you for driving while black with me, sister, and we are going to most definitely keep in contact with you, have you back up here so that we can stay involved in everything you're doing, because I think you have a lot going on.
Yeah,
and most definitely, you know, keep us up with it.
I will do that.
Always a pleasure.
This is fantastic.
Thank you.
I appreciate you inviting me.
It's my effort, you know.